won't wake up.
He won't, for a while.
Mike Flanagan sent me the script, and I thought it was a great story. What piqued my interest about the movie was just a sort of one of those stories about an ordinary family that extraordinary things happen to. I thought the writing was excellent. Flanagan is a little bit like Alfred Hitchcock, you know, in the way that he's very precise in how he sets up the shots and how he takes care of story elements visually. You know, it's very specific, very precise, all the things that you want in a good director.
I have been a fan of Thomas Jane's for years. I first noticed Tom in Boogie Nights, in what is still, to me, one of the most indelible movie scenes that I've ever seen. I think when people see his work in this picture, you're seeing a side of Thomas that I've never seen in a movie before. One of the great things that Tom brought to it was a sense of playfulness, especially with Jacob. They had a really intense bond, and the scenes of them together are just authentic in a way that you can't really direct. I think when people see the performance that he turned in, it's going to be unlike anything they've seen him do ever.
I liked working with Thomas Jane because Thomas Jane was a really nice guy. Like the cereal part, when we were eating breakfast in one of the scenes, after they said cut, we just go like this. Eat all the cereal, and they just refilled the cereal, and we didn't ask for permission to eat the cereal.
Thomas Jane is a cigar-smoking badass. He brought a different kind of depth to Mark than I expected, in that he's got a sense of freedom and a sense of independence.
In many respects, he's the moral center of our story here, particularly as Kate wants to push the limits of this boy's power a little further and a little further initially because she's been reunited with her son through these experiences, and she's feeling out where that ethical line is, and Thomas is his job in the movie is really to ground her a little bit and question whether they should really go so far.
That's an incredibly fragile moment in time, and that's where we pick up Mark and Jesse at this very sort of loving, very tender, but also very fragile point in their life when they're just making a stab at wholeness, at healing, and that's when the nightmares start.
For future reference, giving a child zolpidem is not dealing with his sleep issues.
You don't understand.
I don't understand why you'd rather knock a kid unconscious than try to find out why he doesn't want to sleep.
I do know why he doesn't want to sleep. It's not safe.
My character, I play Natalie, who is the social worker who's been with Cody through his travails. I've never played a social worker before, and so it was a great sort of a new role for me to advocate for a child. And yeah, it was an immediate, I wanted to do it. Really was all in from the moment I read the script. Honestly, on a visceral level, the very first thing that I responded to was the title. The word itself, somnia, is, so often we hear insomnia. Somnia, for all of its sort of, it's a powerful word. It's about not sleeping, what is it? It's a potent word. And in a short 93-page script, there was so much power and emotion and feeling. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about the scares and the chills and the emotional horror ride that comes in this movie.
Until the camera's stopped up close to me, keep my eyes open.
Yeah, so
no blinking.
If you want, just keep them shut until action,
Yep,
and then
perfect.
boom.
Great.
Annabeth Gish was a gift. She is, super skilled as an actress and a lovely human being to boot. And she has, you hope in these major supporting roles that you get somebody who, furthers the story and brings something of their own to the party. And she offered, a lot of dimension to Natalie that we we're very grateful for.
Let's do the scene just like this. Okay, ready? Go.
Nightmare said that he didn't sleep last night.
That's 2 nights in a row then. That we know of.
House he says not to let them go on this long. I think I gotta do it to the
Ping pong physicalizes the whole emotionality behind the work, always.
It's really nice.
Maggie, channel 2, ready 2. And just by the camera, just be aware there will be screams. Screams.
Dan? And that's out.
Dash Mihawk is just my favorite person in the entire world. I actually got to meet him a little while ago. It was actually about a year ago now at a square dancing party. Actually, we were rehearsing for the square dancing party.
You know, when I'm doing a scene where I have to put a gun to a kid's head, I pretty much just, you know, think about everyday life.
Action.
You know, wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth and pull a gun out, point it at a real cute kid, and, you know, have him look at me.
Just the scream?
You know, as I despise children. I don't know. You know, doing a scene like that where you have to go to the depths of despair and mania, and I always just try to imagine what that would be like. You know, what if this boogeyman killed my wife, and this kid is the key to making it stop? What would you do? You'd be on the fence, you know.
Wait, you've got a visitor.
Dash Mihawk, the movie pivots on his character substantially. He provides a lot of understanding to Jessie that sets her on the journey to complete the movie, and the emotion he brought to the role was just extraordinary. His time on screen is limited, but the impression he leaves is not.
So today is Friday the 13th, and we are at what is supposedly the most haunted building in Mobile, Alabama. So the perfect day to be shooting some really scary stuff in a really scary place. It's awesome. Kind of freaked out right now.
My favorite stretch of production was when we were shooting at Barton Academy, which served as our state group home for Cody in the third act. What was amazing about those days for me was that it represented kind of our big horror beats, our scariest scenes, and also some of our most emotional. The production design, the location itself was astonishing. What Patricio did with it inside was even more incredible to me.
One of the main challenges is to make those locations work logistically and artistically. Of course, my main concern is that everything in front of the camera looks beautiful. My goal is always to have, if we're going to see only this wall in this room, I want to have every other room also decorated and also being part of this house. Because I think it's important for when the crew members and of course especially the actors and the director, when they walk into this space, when they cross this threshold, we're now in our own fairy tale.
Have you seen that room yet?
Really good.
Come in, check this out.
It's really good.
This is crazy. This is going to be where Jesse sees Sean drowning in the third act. It's just madness, like this awesome tile in there. They've done the walls here. This deep texture. It's just beautiful. Beautiful.
Working with Patricio in designing a look stemmed from Mike, knowing what this world would be and what our level of heightened reality would be, how the color would be integrated into the space. We like location work, although we use builds when necessary.
Michael Fibignari is the best DP that I've ever met, and I'm beyond lucky to be able to work with him again, and hopefully again and again and again and again forever. You know, we worked on Oculus together and had an amazing time. This was a very different experience going into it. You know, we knew we wanted the movie to differentiate itself visually from what we did with Oculus.
We still gave Somnia a world that was beyond the everyday. It was a heightened reality, not just the way we shot it, but in its core existence of its story is
is a heightened, realistic world. So we took liberties with color and some graphic frames that pointed to the idea that you're being told a story, you're being told a fairy tale.
Feminiari's appeal is largely in his process, because he's so immersed in the material. His level of collaboration and development of creative shots and communication with Mike and with me and the actors, they're all unsurpassed in my view. And I should add that as a producer, I like him because he's fast.
So number one will be the two-shot right here. I did it again.
Oh.
It's useless. It doesn't accomplish anything. Why do directors do
32 on Finder, please.
It doesn't do anything.
This is cool.
How long will you?
Set.
The character of the Cankerman was always going to be really difficult to get onto screen because we wanted it to be a frightening and malevolent presence. We wanted it to work as a movie monster, but we also had to come up with something that could conceivably have been born out of the mind of an 8-year-old child.
Get out of here! Get out!
So the challenge with Cankerman was always, how do we come up with something that's going to frighten adults, but that is true to the imagination of a child?
Reddish purple.
I enjoy doing the scary. I mean, when I was a kid, I was the guy in the back of the room that didn't want his teacher to call on him because I'm too busy drawing monsters on my paper. I guess special effects is usually wind, rain, and fire, but there's a lot of gray areas that come in between makeup effects and special effects, and that's usually where I dwell.
Bruce Larson had designed the mirror for us in Oculus and is, in his own right, a really tremendous artist working in Alabama. And we had such a good experience with him on Oculus that despite being shown concepts and bids from a number of other special effects artists who had a lot more experience in the industry, Bruce's design was the best.
This is EcoFlex 30. It's a platinum cure silicone with a little tint in it. It's what Cankerman's skin is made out of. It's very flexible, very forgiving, but once it goes, it goes. I mean, it tastes like chicken.
There was a day when I was sitting back watching, and I watched Mike Flanagan. I love watching these guys work. Just fly on the wall. And Mike was going, "This is getting creepy."
This is a very different kind of horror movie.
It's hopefully going to be very satisfying. It's our favorite script so far.
It takes it to a whole other level.
But I know that the audience is going to get so much more than they ever expected.
And if you're somebody that wants to see a terrifying movie, it certainly has all of that, but it also really has at its heart a family drama.
All of us have wondered what was in the closet or under the bed. If dreams manifest in reality, it means you're in real danger, and that's scary.
That's the best part. I mean, that's what we're here for. Popcorn and to be scared.
That's pretty great.
The phase it's
really, really scary.
Cool.